I'm Tony.
I'm Louie.
And I'm Adrian.
And we're Tab the Band.
In the studio, we obviously take it song by song to try and figure out the best sound for the song. Obviously, translating it live, we take a simpler approach just because we don't have a crew or anything to really get that specific. We're just more kind of just got to plug in and go. For my sound, I've been using a high watt custom 100 head from school. One that Entwistle used during the prime years of the Who. It's 2 channels. I bridge the channels so it gets a little more bass, and I run it through an Ampeg 1x15 or an 8x10, depending on the size of the venue. And using a bass cab obviously helps accentuate the bass tone, and then you're obviously getting the growl on the top end because it's a guitar head with a lot of power. On the record, I got a little more fancy. I use
an Ampeg.
I used a B15 flip top for some tracks where I was getting more of a dirty sound. I used the high watt setup, my live setup, for some of the more heavy tracks. I used a Fender Bassman head for some of the songs. Did we use? Oh, that's right, we did. We used an old a 51 Bassman.
When we recorded this record, I used as live amp almost the most. Yeah, the Vibro King was what I play live. And I use that pretty much almost for all of the songs on this record. The older records I was a little more adventurous in the amp selection. But this one is just Vibro King, and then I used an old Fender Champ for solos. This record was probably the simplest for me. I really wanted to try to keep it not close to what we do live, but something along those lines. Usually I go between a JCM 800 Marshall with a 4x12. That's bigger venues. I'll do that. And then on shows like this size and theaters and stuff, I'll stick with the Vibro King. And then in the studio, I've used a Super 6, an old Fender Super 6 before.
Super 6 is such a huge sounding amp.
Yeah, that was a lot. Most of the first record was the Super 6. All the G songs were all that, just because it got a huge kind of reverberating hit.
Great clarity and loudness.
We took it out to play with STP last time when they were playing 4,000 people places, and it was too loud for them. It's really loud. And just the Pedalboard is really simple too, and just distortion, fuzz, whammy. I guess the Pog, the Electro-Harmonix Pog, is the only really fancy pedal on there. Yeah, my guitar comes in they have the tuner in the front, a Boss tuner. Then the original Digitech whammy pedal, and I usually set it to the octave below, octave above. Then that goes right into just a DOD digital delay. They keep breaking, so I just keep putting different delays in. I don't have anything specific. Then that goes right into the Electro-Harmonix, the Pog, which is sweet. It sounds like an organ. You can adjust 1 octave above, and you can tune it a little bit, then 2 octaves above and tune that, and then also a sub-octave. Then your dry out, and you can kind of adjust it with filters up here. And that goes right into just a boost and overdrive pedal. I just mostly use the boost, just hit the amp a little harder for solos and stuff. And then just right into the full tone alternate octave, and that just kind of set all the way for certain songs. Just for that extra push. This is a Gibson. It's an ES-137. It's a Memphis guitar from their factory there. It's a ES-137P technically because it's got the P90s in it. And then it's a limited edition paint. They only did a couple different versions of it. They had I think an orange, a blue, and a green teal kind of finish with the all black in the back. And it's just a really good sounding guitar. It's really crunchy. And then I use this just for all the open G songs. And I took off the low string, so instead of it being a fifth of the note, it's actually the root. So when you give it a whole swipe, it's actually getting the low G bass note too. So it gives it a really thunderous sound, I guess, which is the best way to put it. For all the guitars I play live, all the P90s in them, just to kind of keep the sound even across the board.
If we're playing similar parts, Tony has the freedom to moving around, which he does sometimes. And my tone is like enough that it's still clean, but still have dirt, so it doesn't sound like he's pulling out. You know, it just sounds like he's able to like. You never want to pull out. I mean,
Not when rock's about
not when rock's about to happen. Exactly.
You should look out for us on the road this fall with Stone Temple Pilots and Cage the Elephant. Or maybe you can catch us with Slash, who is a guitar player, and
Roses. In the Guns N' Roses.
Guns N' Roses.
The Guns and the Roses.
Both. He's in both bands. And you can also check us out on myspace.com/tabband for tour dates. Check out songs and videos, including the one that he directed. Bye!